Hey, what's up, everybody? Thank you for joining me. It's been quite a while since I've done a stream, but I thought I'd come back in and and say something to somebody. You know, I always join other people's streams, but I hardly ever do anything here on this channel. So I apologize for those folks who would like to see me or hear from me more often on this channel. But I do try to jump on other people's channels that I frequent with as well. Anyway. And kind of give my 2 cents there. So, but I appreciate everybody who's joining in today. First off, I'd like to say thank you to the Patreon members. If I can just pull those up, I have. I'd like to welcome the latest members. That one, Carlos and Lord Blaze. Thank you so much. Thank you to all of my Patreon members. You guys really help us out, especially since Warner Brothers has been attacking these things here. You can no longer get this shirt because they have been attacking all of the logos that are on the t-shirt websites. There are some still left on there, but those are the ones that they either can't copyright or hasn't come up on the radar. So if you would like a hero shirt that they don't sell online, hit me up. Let me know which symbol. Chances are I've done every single symbol there is in the DC lore. There are still a few that I haven't done, like maybe Superwoman or or maybe there's a few that I haven't done, but the majority of the popular superhero logos I have made. They're all vectorized and yeah. So if you want something, I mean, even like this, even Daffy, I drew this from scratch. Same thing with Taz. Drew him as a lantern. I do have them available for to be printed on shirts. I have a shirt myself in the other room of Taz. So yeah, if you want something, hit me up or on social media, either Instagram or Twitter, and we'll work something out and get that out to you so you can wear it with pride and represent your favorite hero or villain. But so today it's kind of a chill stream a little bit. I wanted to tackle the subject of the new hashtag Restore the Snyderverse. And I sort of wanted to go into this sort of ask the question, should we restore the Snyderverse? Why should we restore the Snyderverse? And what are some of the reasons why, or what is perhaps the main reason why you want to see this continue? When these entities have come and said, hey, you know what, we've given you this 4-hour gift, and you should be happy and satisfied with that. And now we're going to show you these other things from our own bag of goodies or whatever, and you should like what we're giving you. So that's sort of the question that we're gonna tackle today. But also I'm doing something a little bit different for my streams. After the stream, thank you to everybody in the comment section. I'll get you guys in a minute. But for everybody that leaves a comment on the video, I created this design based off of the Man of Steel logo, and I'm going to do a shirt giveaway. It's a Zeeverfett. It's a Z, of course. It's a Zeeverfett logo, for on a shirt that I'm just going to do a giveaway for. So in order to qualify, just leave a comment in the video or in the comment section on the video, and I'll pull a winner each month. So yeah, that's it. I mean, the only rules is you leave something positive, leave something that I can leave a reply on that sort of engages in conversation. And that's it. I mean, if it's negative or if it's just like one word, like first, then unfortunately you won't be in the running. But yeah, I mean, if this does appeal to you, the winner, I'll make contact with you on the side. We'll get your shirt size, and I'll get this thing ordered and printed out and mailed to you. And that's what I'm going to start doing monthly. So I think that'd be a cool way to give something back to the community. And if you're a Patreon member, you will already be in the running. Without having to put a comment in. If you put a comment in, thank you so much. But your support is already much appreciated. So without further ado, I'd like to bring in my panel. And the first person that I'd like to bring in is none other than the guy who brings fire to most of the streams that he's on when he's allowed to speak. It's our good buddy ACS Anthony from ACS Universe.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's see those fire emojis.
You had me laughing. So when he's allowed to speak, yes. When I'm allowed to speak, I bring some fire.
When you're allowed to speak, yes.
Spice up the conversation.
And you'll know this next guy. He's an artist of many ways, but we all know him as the nerd of many ways. Dawson Weidrich from Nimwa.
What's up, guys?
What's up? Here. You finished your chicken. Good.
I did finish my chicken. Pesto chicken. It's good stuff, man.
It is. Yeah. I mean, I had a pretty good dinner tonight as well, but I mean, what you were telling me that you were having. Yeah. Oh yeah. It was delicious. It was chicken as well. But it was like a chicken enchilada soup. And it was,
that's so nice.
Pretty good. It's pretty good. And lastly, you'll see this guy lounging around from either his couch or his bed or maybe even a recliner. Here's our good buddy Enosh from the Poindexter Lounge.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just lounging around. It's what I do.
There you are.
First of all, Ryan, can I just say how good it is to see you? I thought you didn't like me anymore. What? I haven't seen you in I haven't seen or heard from you in like a month.
Dude, you're always
Ryan doesn't like anyone.
You're always on way too late for me.
What did I do? Yeah, but you don't even say hi. It's like I just feel like he doesn't.
Wait, no, hold on. Okay, so we had a thing that you replied to today.
Yes,
that has been in the chat.
I know. That's my fault.
That's
my fault. That was my fault. That was my fault.
A while ago, and I was like, you know what?
I don't not like you.
Okay, Batman.
Oh no! Oh, he's brought that line in. So
I love you, man. I love you, man.
It's
I
good
just
to
miss
see you. Yeah, no, it's good to talk to you. I've listened to some of your streams while I'm at work. Because it's the next day and you're already done and so I just kind of catch up on it. But yeah, no, hey, I'm glad you're available. Thanks for being here.
Absolutely.
So I'm gonna get to the chat. Thank everybody that is in the chat and I love the fire emojis for Anthony. That's awesome. Nikita's mom's in the chat. That's fantastic. Valdir's here.
I called her up and asked her to be here.
Send her the link.
Send her the link. I got Sickness up in the house. Giving you those fire emojis. DC with Extended's here. It's fantastic. So let me scroll up. I did see Dylan Batista. I saw that you were in the chat earlier. Like when I first put this thing up on StreamYard. So I think YouTube purges comments. So I do see that it went away. And then also, oh gosh, who was the other one? Oh, Simon. Simon, I saw that you were in the chat as well.
Yeah.
And then that comment also is purged. So thank you for showing up earlier. I appreciate it. Appreciate the support that you guys give. Ifye's here. What's going on, man?
What's up,
Steve
Ifye?
Kassan.
How do you pronounce that name?
Ifye.
Ifye. Thank you. Because Ifye leaves great comments and occasionally a super chat over at the lounge, and I always feel like I'm murdering the name because I don't know if it's Iffy, F-A, I don't know. So Ifye. All right, I got it. Ifye.
Nice.
I got it.
And then, this is a name that I butcher all the time, so I just call him Rush.
We just called him Rush.
Oh, Rush. I'll just call him Rush.
Yeah.
What's up, Rush? How you doing today? And Poindexter Lounge is lurking in the chat. Got Sickness.
I like that guy.
What's up? What's down with the Sickness? Hope you're doing well.
Get down with the tick. It's so funny. I got this drop that I want to use totally. That it's like this guy who just makes these videos on TikTok about what bands did to convince their record companies to release their albums or whatever, and he's got one for that song, and he's just the guy just comes in and he's just all right, so we got this song for you. It goes like this. It goes down with the thickness, and then the guy's like, oh, you mean it goes down with the thickness? And so I think of Sickness every time now I hear that song or see anything about that.
Yeah, I picked that up when Nicotina would always play that for him at the beginning of his streams.
Yes.
So it just kind of stuck. It was pretty good. It was good on Andre. Good on Andre. Let's see.
He did
What's
some
up, John
good ones.
Cena?
He did
How you
something good.
doing, man? It's
What
good to
up?
see you. Got Nicotina's mom in the chat.
John Cena.
Yeah. When are you coming to my house? Now I don't know if that's directed to me or to Enosh,
Or to all of us.
or to all of us. I guess.
Whoa,
Whoa. Choo choo.
Okay, for the sake of all humanity, hashtag restore the Snyderverse. We will get into this. It's because it's a very interesting topic, and
I've
I
already
love
done
what
my
Subway
job.
did.
I made Anthony laugh. So
Yeah. There you go.
done my job.
Oh, there you go. Because Anthony's a hard nut to crack.
Well, we shall see. We shall see when we get over to Nicotina's mom's house.
Oh! So, yeah. I'm sorry, Steve. Okay, for the sake. Oh yeah. Okay, sorry, I did read that. Sorry. What's up, Steve? DC with Extended says we don't want the Hamadaverse. It's gone suck. You know what? I live in a world where I believe that if you have a palate for the Hamadaverse, man, you do you, boo, right? And if you don't, if you have a palate for the Snyderverse, you do you. Watch Snyder stuff. I would like a variety, but we'll get into that later. That's kind of jumping the gun. Sorry. Yow, sickness. Comment. Positive comment to you, Zeeverfett. Thank you. I appreciate the positivity. Yes.
Just want to get in on that giveaway.
Well, the giveaway. Aha. See, we're listening. The giveaway is after. It's not the live chat. It's after the stream is over.
What a tease.
I appreciate everybody being in the chat, contributing to the live feed so that we can sort of riff off of that. But yeah, I do like the engagement after the streams are over to kind of come back and see who all has listened and watched and maybe even pondered and come back and said, hey, you know what? I thought of this and engage.
Pondered what you had to say.
Let's see. What's up, Sickness? Enosh. Let's see. DC. Let's see. Roll down here. My man's as DC talk with Extended. No Hamada burgers. Let's see. Blaze. Oh yeah, Simon Blaze. That's who came in earlier, and the comment is now gone because of YouTube. Let's see. DC says Dawson. Hey, nerdy. Noel. Hey, what's up, Noel? How's it going? Koozie Cast is up in here. How you doing?
What's up,
Say
man?
boo. Say boo. I just did.
By the way, that's what I'm doing right now is actually getting that for a drop on the Poindexter Lounge. You do you, boo.
You do you, boo. So there you go. You heard it here first, but you'll hear it there later. So,
all right.
I couldn't believe how tall Dawson was. How tall are you? I am actually roughly around the same height as Dawson. So
No.
pretty good there.
About 4'11".
4'11". Yeah. Don't make me
Strangely.
Nicotina's height. Don't make me Nicotina's height because that's actual.
He's got a Tom Cruise thing going on. Not only does he kind of look like him just a little bit, but if you watch the video.
Ever.
If you watch the video of our big streaming event and then you see these little things of him next to like me and Dawson and Anthony, you can see,
that's the height that I am. Yes.
He's a little guy. Before I put him,
we
put him to
wearing,
bed. We picked him up, burped him a little bit,
Burped him.
laid him down on the couch. We put another pillow on the other side of him though, so he wouldn't roll off the couch.
Gotta support his neck.
So in actuality, I was wearing Chuck Taylors, and I believe Anthony was wearing pumps. Dawson was wearing high heels, stilettos. Yeah, stilts. He was wearing stilts, and Enosh was wearing Air Jordans. He pumped him up. So. Remember those?
Yeah.
And I don't think they did anything. I really don't.
Remember the Saturday Night Live thing with Chris Rock? Just pump it. pump it up, just pump it up, and then the shoe would blow up.
Yeah.
The shoe would blow up.
Actually, yes, I did say that. Let's see. What's up? Sickness. Oh man, it keeps jumping. I hate it when it does that.
Yep.
They need to fix that or compartmentalize it or something to make it easier for us to not lose our place. Let's restore the Snyderverse. Kuzikats, what's up? Anthony Strader, what's going on, man? Have not seen Godzilla vs. Kong yet. I might do that after this stream.
Yeah.
Because that
Nope.
No, you're not going to watch it.
No, I'm not watching it for a week. I'm watching nothing but Snyder Cut.
Okay.
Until because I'm not protesting because I want to see Kong versus Godzilla. I just want to send the message that there are still people who care about Zack Snyder's Justice League, even with that coming out. Because I really want to see Kong versus Justice League.
But if let's say you play the Snyderverse in your room where you are now, right? I'm sorry, the Zack
Snyderverse.
Okay, I hashtag.
Always got to
it's
play
in
it
my
on
mind.
3
It's in my
devices.
mind. It's ingrained. So let's just say that you play it in here, and then you go in your living room and you watch Kong.
I could.
It would be playing on both, and you play it in here, given the numbers, but you go into your living room and you watch Kong, and I mean, I think two birds with one stone.
I'm just going to give it the views later, because I got nothing against Kong versus Godzilla. I want to see it, and I don't think it's right. I don't think it's right with the bombing of it, where everybody was going and giving it negative feedback. I don't want to give it because I think that's attacking somebody else's art. I don't think that's cool.
Plus, Warner Brothers didn't even make the movie; they're just distributing it.
Yeah.
So I mean, either way, I don't want to kill that movie. I just, and actually, I might go see it at the theater instead because
actually, that's where my son is tonight. He is at the theater with his friends watching Kong vs. Godzilla or Godzilla vs. Kong. So hey, what's up, Sean? You are never too soon for this stream here. You're right on time. Chubby Teddy's in the house. Hello, Swole Gangsters with a Z. How's it going? Yeah, you saw the swollenness. Anthony, take a seat because Swole is up in the house.
You do you, boo, right?
Oh my god,
that's pretty good.
That sounds like it sounds like it's on one of those toys where you press the button. It's like you do you, boo.
It's the Justice
you do you, boo, right?
Like one of those pull cords, like Woody.
Yep. Where is it?
You do you, boo, right?
Off topic a lot, but
That's nice.
Okay, and I don't know if you guys have ever tried to look for this thing, the tape recorder that Kevin McAllister uses in Home Alone. Everybody
wanted to sell it.
Yes.
Yo, dude. Yeah,
after the movie was made, and parents were out looking for it, and it wasn't a thing.
Hundreds of dollars, dude.
Oh boy.
But those things were smooth, man. When I saw the movie, I was like, dude, that shit's cool. That little tape recorder with the thing on it. Yeah, that's off top.
Yeah. I mean, that was actually pretty innovative, but
yeah.
I mean, it was really cool. It was really cool. That was a highlight for me as a kid, seeing that thing, and then knowing that they had to go into production, because of the demand. So that was kind of cool. What's up, Double MJ? Sickness is Chubby. DC Talk with me. Okay, 187's up in here.
What up?
Oh my god. Let's see. Reese says Ryan is actually 5'9", but 6 feet wide because he's a dump truck.
Wow.
Because hey,
he's packing much back. He's packing much back.
It up. I'm like when I go back, you hear.
Okay. Wow. From his own stream. Boot him from his own.
Not today.
With the power of my 16K, I ban you from the stream.
He was like, ooh.
Yes. Damn it.
That power works.
So Kuzikast says, so with Hollywood Reporter and Warner Brothers gunning for us more than ever, and now that we have become a legion with big names in the industry joining our voice, think we can restore the Snyderverse. It's a possibility. we'll go around the round table in just a bit about the Snyderverse. I just want to jump up through the comments real quick. I think we're caught up. On everybody that is here. I'm not a hobbit. I am not a hobbit.
A hobbit.
Hobbit.
Well,
Hobit.
So
hobbit. I'm with Enosh on Zack Snyder's Justice League week. In fact, I'm gonna turn it on now. Like ACS keeps his gangsta swole on. That means all the time.
You do you, boo, right?
I love it.
Oh man.
Let's see. Okay, I trust Deathstroke Manganello more than I trust Black Adam in a fight to restore the Snyder's. We'll see. The thing about the difference between Deathstroke Manganello and Black Adam is being made where Deathstroke is, Manganello is trying to tease us about Deathstroke to sort of build the hype, which is what Zack Snyder.
In fact, I love both actors tremendously, but one of them is the biggest star in the world, so I'm pretty sure his askings probably get favored over,
over Manganello. Yes, yes. I mean, I think Manganello is just like, I want a seat at the table, and The Rock is already at the table. So let's go around round table. I'd like to get you guys' thoughts on restoring the Snyderverse, right? So we've got this movie. It was hashtag release the Snyder Cut for years. And then we got the announcement from Man of Steel Watch Party, that we actually are, getting the Snyder Cut indeed, and it came within about less than a year. We got it. So, and then now that we've seen the 4-hour epic or opus, what do you guys think? So I'll go with
Like
we'll go with
tease
Enoch.
everybody a little bit, just tickling it a little bit.
What? Who said tickle it a little bit? Oh, that was you.
Like to tease everybody a little bit, just tickling it a little bit.
Oh no, that's.
These are the same pose right now.
Yes, amazingly.
Why would you tickle
Like
it a
to
little
tease
bit?
everybody a little bit, just tickling it a little bit.
I had a feeling someone's gonna clip that.
Oh, dude, that's hilarious.
And the fact that you did is okay. Wow, that's pretty awesome. I'm not even embarrassed. I'm not embarrassed. That's awesome. That's just
I'm not
awesome.
embarrassed. Just tickle it a little bit.
Yeah, just tickle.
I'm not even embarrassed. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So Enosh. Number one, why do you think that we should campaign or that we should rush to campaign for restore the Snyderverse when all of these other people, Ann Sarnoff and the like, are saying it's a one and done thing, it's a cul-de-sac, this is all before it was released, they don't want to release numbers, all that kind of stuff. Do you think that it's a worthwhile cause? What are your thoughts on it? What are your thoughts?
Well, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We should campaign for it. I think though, it's not whether or not we should campaign, it's how we should campaign. Mm-hmm. Because I think that there's been a lot of people who have, unfortunately, I get it. Last week, we all felt like it was a kick to the gut. We were all riding high off of the Snyder Cut. It was like, oh my gosh, this 4-year campaign that we did, that we all fought for, that we talked about, that we were all in support of. And then finally, we got the news that it was coming out. And then we saw this thing. And let's be honest, Zack Snyder's Justice League is not just, oh, hey, that's his cut of Justice League. Okay, you watch this 4-hour thing. It's an epic thing. This is going to be an event type of movie, of thing that every time you watch it, it's going to be something special. And honestly, every time I watch it, I get something new out of it. Even today, I just saw the clip of the Flash, where the Flash, stops everything and then decides to, turn back time and everything. And he's got that focus and stuff that you heard and you process at the time, but it just hits differently when you see it kind of condensed on its own. Like when he's talking about his dad, and he's like, Dad, however this works out, just know that your son was part of the best, was one of the best, and man, Like, holy crap, like there's some serious stuff in this thing, and it's just epic, you know. There's just no denying that. So yeah, I was right there along with everybody else last Monday when we got that kick to the gut with Ann Sarnoff, you know, that just going down the list with that hit piece, basically this pre-prepared thing that, hey, we're going to talk about each and everything that we don't like as Warner Brothers, that the fans have done, that others have done, and we're just going to kind of kick the thing to the side. I mean, it's been almost 2 weeks now, and we still don't have any official numbers from Warner Brothers.
Right. And I can understand the numbers issue is because the Snyder Cut was released on a lot of different platforms and a lot of different, so it's not really an easy metric.
Yeah, but even the numbers though released alone just from HBO Max,
the domestic numbers,
just the domestic numbers alone that we know now, not from HBO or not from Warner Brothers, but from outside sources. Look, they're already touting what was it that came out this last week? There was something else that came out this last week on HBO Max or something like that, and they already got numbers for that, I know what you're talking. I don't know the name of the show. Yeah, I can't remember there's some show or whatever, and they're already like, oh, it's so great, and it's been viewed this many times. So look, I feel that same frustration, but the thing about, like I was talking about before, like going off on Kong and giving it ones just because, like, I don't feel that's right. We talked about that this last week with both Ray Porter and Ray Fisher. Like, that's not the way to go about this. You don't hurt somebody else's art just because you're passionate about something else. And then
are those real? Like, has anybody validated those bombs? Well, because I don't know if that's real or if that's just fake. Like, just to bring
it's hard to tell. But I'm just saying, if anybody is doing it, you need to not do that. And then also, because it's hard to tell, right, with anything. Yeah. But we also know that there were a lot of Snyder Cut or Snyderverse posts on various, serious tweets or social media posts or whatever stories where, it just got bombed, release the Snyderverse, really, restore the Snyderverse, restore the Snyderverse, restore the Snyderverse. So if anybody is doing that, that needs to stop.
What's up, Warstu?
Hey, what's up, Warstu? Warstu. So people need to come together and know what we want. And like you were saying, like if you just because Warner Brothers is putting out these new DC movies doesn't mean that we have to attack those movies. It's going to be a multiverse. My only problem with the whole thing is, if it's going to be a multiverse, it should include the Snyderverse, because it should include everything. When Andy Muschietti comes out and says everything that you've seen up to this point exists, everything after this exists.
I called him out yesterday on Dawson's show, and then I lost signal and I couldn't be on with him, so I was like, oh well.
Then Warstu came on to the show.
I was really close to a school, and I think around schools they like the Wi-Fi is wonky, so just I lost connection from Dawson's show. But I was like, yeah, he's always in the chat, but he's never on the show. So
and I'm gonna forget the name already. How did
ACS.
ACS. No, not Ifye. So as Ifye just said, it was a Tina Turner documentary that they were touting already, had been viewed so many times, and it was blown up or whatever. And so all I'm saying is that we need to come together and say, look, we just want representation for the Snyderverse. Let the other movies come. Let all those things come. Let's just we want this story to continue as well in its own universe, in its own thing. And be positive. And be positive. That's how we're going to win this thing. I was even talking to Dawson about doing something, because there was a story that came out today, and there's been a couple of stories that have come out, articles and stuff about, comparing us to the fandom menace and comparing us to like the toxic fandom.
I've always said this, that people need to compartmentalize, and they need to label. Once they've labeled, then they're done with it. They're like, oh, I've labeled this, I can move on.
But this is not what this is, because we're going to win this basically loving something, talking about what we love. And I mean, I know that it's kind of now a Star Wars trope, given it the Last Jedi, but it is true. We're going to win this talking about something that we love, being the Snyderverse, instead of the thing that we hate, or we think we hate, that we haven't even seen yet, right? Because it could very well be that Ann Sarnoff is right, that if we give this new DC universe a chance, there could be a lot of things that we actually love about it. I'm not ready to just hate on that. I'm ready to just take it all in as a DC fan and say, don't take away the thing that I love as well.
Right. Add, don't take away.
Exactly.
I mean, more is, I mean, we're like I was telling Dawson yesterday, I think on his stream, was that we are a consumer society. You know, the whole world globally, we consume. So allow us to consume. Society. Right. Yes. So allow us to consume. And you made a point a minute ago, Enosh, about the multiverse, right? And so one of the things, or one of the fights that Zach had, was the Green Lantern, his Green Lantern. And they were like, well, we have plans for Green Lantern. Well, good for you that you have plans for Green Lantern. Go do your plans with Green Lantern. I've got my own plans for Green Lantern, and this is a multiverse, so it shouldn't impede on the on your version of whatever Green Lantern you want to use, whether it be John, Hal, Guy, Kyle. Who cares? You do you, boo. Like I said earlier.
Yep. Exactly. And that's where I'm at.
Yeah. I don't know what. It's just quit.
I heard dogs, and I thought you got attacked. So I was like, well, he's gone. So,
I'm muted because my wife just got home. So yeah. So
I guess Anthony will ask you before the dogs come and attack you again. What do you think about this whole restore the Snyderverse? You back it, obviously. But what are some of the reasons why you back this as well? You back this initiative.
I mean, first off, it's a thing where, like, us that are asking for them to restore the Snyderverse and let Zach complete his entire thing, that he had planned out. Obviously, he's put some stuff out there with the storyboards and stuff that we're going to see when we go into the museum. It's going to be fire. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway,
we're going to have some fun.
It's we're not asking for that to be the only thing that they release.
Right.
Go ahead with the other movies. Finish all of that other stuff. We just want a completion to Zack Snyder's Justice League, and then 2, and then 3. That's all we're asking for. We're not saying, stop production on every other DC property until. That's not what we're asking for. And I mean, look, the release the Snyder Cut movement. I mean, which we were all a part of, and we all actively, were involved in, as far as when the events came up and stuff. This has reached a different thing right now, where it's just like there's check marks involved in this thing now.
Right. I mean, it has had years. Of people liking BVS, people going back and watching Man of Steel, and people growing up into this, into these films and learning more about them and sharing with their friends and these things are so these movies are so rich with different perspectives, point of views, that it has the fandom that was once in 2013 and then 2016 has grown exponentially. Here we are in 2021, and a lot more people are aware of this universe, and a lot more people have given this universe sort of like they've given it a chance. And because they've given it a chance and they've watched, Zack Snyder's Justice League for the 4-hour movie and embraced it, I mean, the fans, the amount of fans that are for Snyder are greater than it's ever been before.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, for personally, I could say I would love to see his vision completed. You know what I'm saying? I would love to see where this thing goes that he left us with at the end of Zack Snyder's Justice League. I want to see. And just like all of us, you know what I mean? That's like personal reasons, but on a grander scale, I mean, dude should get to finish it. Like he basically broke the internet in the past couple of weeks. Dude he put in the work. They gave him the ability to finish his movie, to do whatever. And he's, Zach is smart. He did some things in there where like, what? you can't shoot that, but I'm going to shoot it anyway because you know what, y'all gave me some money. So anyway, but he did those things, and as the fans, we love that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, he didn't close it off. Like I said on another stream, is that he didn't have to shoot the nightmare sequence. It could have just ended on Superman opening his shirt and it fading to black, and it still would have been a killer movie. Yeah. It still would have been leaps and bounds over what we got. And the studio always knew that this version was going to be better than the trash that we got, the Justice League. Yeah. They always knew that. But he went a step further, gave us the nightmare sequence, and then also gave us Bruce interacting with, Martian Manhunter at the end. Yes. Jones, he didn't have to. He did. That wasn't needed, but he put that in place because he still has interest in finishing his story. Yeah, yeah. So as far as finishing, the restoring the Snyderverse, yeah, I am all for it, and so and Dawson has joined league with this toxic company today, right?
I had Subway today. Yes, I did.
You went today.
Right after I saw that tweet,
I'm all for it, man.
I'm
all for it, man. I'm sharing the tweet later, man, and because we're talking. This is one of the topics we're talking about later, and it's like this is awesome. Look, more people are coming out about this because it's absolutely ridiculous, the idea that Warner Brothers wouldn't give us something going forward. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I'm not saying you have to make it all this, right? But why wouldn't you capitalize on this? Yeah, this is literally
money on the table.
Your tent pole thing that just that you can say, hey, look, we did this. Yeah, like you could even spin this later. I mean, Ann Sarnoff even tried to spin it, saying we're so glad that we were able to give Zach this opportunity to see his vision, which we all know is BS anyways. Mm-hmm. So why not spin it just to your advantage anyways, and just say, look, you know what? We see that people are loving this, that they're enjoying this, and we're proud to give you more of this. And what it comes down to is pride. And it's just going to take a little while. I've talked to a few people now. I've talked to a few people off the record about some things and been very shocked. People that I would love to have on the Poindexter Lounge, actually, that I was shocked that I had an opportunity to communicate with. Mm-hmm. And they all believe that it's just a matter of time. Yeah. But the reality is, and these are people involved in Hollywood. These are people who have ties to Warner Brothers. And the thing is they all feel it's the same thing. It's a pride thing right now. It's a thing of time, of waiting, because look, Warner Brothers didn't come right out and go, yeah, we're going to give you the Snyder cut either. Right. Mm-mm. That took a while, and that took people continuing on. And that's why I say things like, yeah, you know what? Have it going on a couple of devices, man. Have it going on in the house. Listen to it in the background, whatever you got to do while you're working, while you're doing something else. If you're doing a project around the house, have it going, man. Like as I'm going to bed at night, I usually like put something on, and put headphones in or whatever, man. I'm putting Zack Snyder's Justice League in and I'm listening to it, or something, and show that there is definitely a demand for this.
Well, one of the things that I admire most about his movies, especially I love rewatching Man of Steel. I do sit down and rewatch BVS Ultimate Edition, but not as much as I watch Man of Steel. I don't. But with the Justice League, Zack Snyder's Justice League, I find myself like I love that it's in chapters. I can just watch a chapter and be like, okay, I'm cool. I'm good for the day. I'll pick up chapter 2, maybe later on or whatever.
Yeah, because I think I've watched it full on 3 times, but I've seen it like 10 times now. But the way I watch it, I will legitimately bounce on there, watch that thing for an hour and a half, and be like, all right, let me do this. Let me come back, and I'm just you just dip in, dip out. I mean, it's rich, and so let me throw this to Dawson. Dawson, what is your take on the initiative to restore the Snyderverse? Doing the hashtags, not just doing the hashtags, but I mean, do you think that we should go back and do what was done with the release the Snyder cut, as far as like getting billboards, sending various people at the company, fruit baskets.
fruit baskets or something, boxes of peanuts, whatever. What is your take?
BLTs.
Well, BLTs. Hey,
Send them some Subway.
Yeah. There you go. Free Subway lunch.
Free Subway, no bologna.
As far as the whole idea of like making billboards and flying planes of Warner Brothers, I think yes, for release of Snyder Cut, it was essential because it really got their attention.
Yeah.
But for this one, I don't think it's as necessary just because again, we've talked about all the different check marks that have, tweeted out restore the Snyderverse, and even other people, just influencers on Twitter who are saying, I just watched the Snyder Cut. Holy crap, it was great. Hashtag restore the Snyderverse. Like even Brad Paisley tweeted out restore the Snyderverse. I mean, I'm gonna appreciate that for the rest of my freaking life.
Before every show that you do. It should be the Brad Paisley comment or whatever.
No, message him, get him to sing.
Yeah,
restore the Snyder Cut, and then before every show,
that's what you should do. Actually, he probably would. He probably
would.
He
probably would. I mean,
just
make it to the nationwide theme like he does. That'd be great.
Please restore the Snyderverse.
Yes, gonna happen.
Oh man, there you go. What a jingle!
I really doubt he has messages available.
Yeah,
but
he's looking right now. It's like,
if he does, that'd be amazing. But like I was saying with restore the Snyderverse, I don't think that's nearly as essential, just because again, all the people that are supporting and all the people that are backing it. And the thing is that frustrates me, and I know frustrates all of you guys, is that before it was like us against the blue check marks. Like many people in the movement saw blue check marks as kind of like the adversary of the movement, because like a lot of blue check marks were just like, it's not going to happen, like it's a pipe dream, like grow up, whatever, all these different things that they would say. And so blue check marks was always like a negative connotation in the movement. But now they've joined their voice with the people inside the movement saying like, yeah, this thing's good. Like, why don't you do more of this? Why don't you continue the story?
I think they are doing this. The blue check marks are doing this because the movie, I don't want to say it's very close to flawless. Like there's nothing you could look at the movie and like pick it apart like they did with BVS. Like this movie is like it's positive. It balances the characters very well as far as like there's their story and their backstory and character development and then the villains are fantastic. So they would be remiss if they were to go and say, okay, this is trash. This is a trash movie. I picked it apart, and this is why. Because then they would lose all credibility because everyone else sees that this is not a bad movie. It's actually a really good movie.
And actually, not to cut you off, but actually, the reasons that they could find the cut, if they would try to pick it apart, they probably liked some movies from the other universe, and that would that would make their arguments about those movies
invalid.
If they because I'm not trying to say it follows the Marvel formula. Yo, dude, Gavin Cooley, chill, homie, chill.
Yes, Thundercats is amazing. I heard it was going to be not live action, though, which I'm not happy about.
Animated.
I would love for it to be live action.
But if you read the TW pulled up the thing, like the writer, he wrote a Thundercat script when he was like 10 years old, 250 page. Remember how many pages was it, Dawson?
I can't remember, but something like that.
Yeah. The writer, when he was a kid, like wrote a Thundercat script, and it was like 200 pages. It said it's going to be highly stylized CGI mixed with animation, so it's going to,
I mean, I'll watch an animated show. I would prefer live action because I love the Thundercats.
Oh yeah.
I would love to see the Thunder Tank in action.
Jason Momoa for Lionel.
Woo!
Oh yeah, he'd be
Jason
great.
Momoa
He's very
for Lionel.
childlike.
Just saying. Come on, you could see that man going, Thunder, Thundercats, ho,
dude.
Oh man,
give
that'd
it
be
to
awesome.
Give it to me
right
now.
No, that's some good fan casting right there.
But I do want to finalize my thoughts, then I'll have to
go
going.
ahead.
Oh yeah.
But essentially, yes, I feel like this is something worth fighting for because, like, at this point, like before, we were fighting against
what's up next?
All the odds, right? I mean, yes, we're kind of fighting against Warner Bros. Now, but before this, all the odds were against us. The studio didn't want to do it. The blue check marks didn't want to do it. Like, it was just us dedicated fans against the world, essentially. But now we have a lot of the world on our side.
Yes.
And that's and I'll support it because Zach said to. Zach said to keep watching it. There's no way they can ignore. And he wouldn't say that unless he had hope or a belief that could very well happen. So
right. I mean, because he has not, released who he shot as Green Lantern. Because if it was one and done, he didn't care anymore. He would release it because he does that. He does that when he sees like, oh, okay, well, there's just no hope. Then he'll leave it. And also he has the whiteboard. He has this new arc that he wants to.
Yeah, someone who doesn't care about the story wouldn't make a new whiteboard for the sequels.
Yes,
and keep it hidden.
Right.
Still keep it under wraps. So, I mean, we do know that he has interest. Now, I've heard a lot of people say that, we shouldn't. I mean, is it or should we say that that Zach? Hey, yeah, go ahead and go back under all that, all the scrutiny and all that, and all the abuse that you took and whatever for, being in this, doing Man of Steel or BVS or Zack Snyder's Justice League or whatever. Should we send him back in there to continue and constantly fight and whatever? And I say it doesn't matter. He's a grown ass man.
Yeah.
If he doesn't want to put himself in that, if he doesn't feel like it's too strenuous, it's a hostile work environment, then he has every right to say, you know what, I'm not going to put myself in that position. I've got a lot of other projects, the zombie projects that he works on, the Camelot thing he wants to work on. There's another one, I forget the name of it, that he wants to work on. There are other projects that could get his attention, but because he's saying that he's alluding that, he would like to do more, and that he'll definitely sit down and have a conversation to pursue that. If they do call him in the office and say, hey, we'd like to talk to you, then he's not object to that.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's all up to him.
Yeah,
and that's the thing. Look, I get it. Look, Zach has been through enough. Zach doesn't have to return to anything. Zach doesn't owe us anything. He doesn't owe us to do anything. Like you said, he put the nightmare sequence in there just because he, for various reasons, because he thought it would be best suited for the movie to be in there. He wanted to give us that Batman Joker interaction. He wanted to do it for the fans. But look, like you said, at the end of the day, he keeps egging it on. He keeps saying, watch the thing. And in the one interview, he said, look, I'd definitely be interested in doing it. So if he's interested to have that conversation and to do that, like you said, that's his decision to make, and all we can do is go off of his leading that he's kind of edging us on, and say, hey, make this thing, and who's to say it all has to be him? I would love to see him complete his 5-movie arc. I would love to see him complete his ideas, but beyond that, let him produce stuff, and just within that universe.
Yeah. No, that would be most ideal. I mean, that way he could influence the narrative, influence the story, and help these other directors make something cohesive that match what's going on in his mind about how his universe works, and continue on with that, and then also do whatever Hamada wants to do and play with the Arrowverse or whatever. I mean, give us more. Don't tell us that we shouldn't have something. It's I mean, that's the wrong way to do it.
You don't want this. You want what we're giving you. You don't want what's over there.
Just give us a chance. Give us a chance. Give us a minute, and you guys will see what we're doing, and you'll love it just as much. Just enjoy those stories as well. And I don't have a problem with that. Just don't.
I mean, give us some cool stories, but don't take something else. We also
have to. Exactly. What Anne is missing is that you have to earn our money, earn our interest, earn our trust that you're going to do something with the brand that'll be palatable to us, that we will like, that we will put our money into. You can't I'm just not going to take you on your word, because I have not been impressed with Birds of Prey. I have not been fully impressed with Wonder Woman 84. I mean, Wonder Woman 84 was a fun film, but it is so full of flaws, so full of issues. That
I think a lot of that's what you're going to get, right? I mean, you're going to get these movies that you're going to be able to enjoy as a DC fan.
Yeah.
But let's be honest with you, they want to go in this more kind of cutesy kind of, way.
Well, they want to mirror Marvel.
I know. And what's really gonna piss people off, though, I'll be honest with you, is if they do something like kill off Ben Affleck and try to kill off the Snyderverse in that Flash movie, and then don't go forward with anything.
I've made arguments with people that have that narrative. Ben Affleck is an established actor. He doesn't need to come back and be Batman again. He doesn't care. Who cares? He's not, and he also has a lot of respect for Snyder personally. Mm-hmm. He's not going to come back and shit on the character that Snyder created for him and brought him on board, right? And all that. So I mean, he's not going to do that.
I agree.
I just that makes sense in zero amount of universes. In the multiverse, it makes no sense. But with that, I do want to give Dawson the last word because he does have to leave. What are your final thoughts about restore the Snyderverse? Release the Snyderverse.
It should be done. I mean, it's money on the table. A studio would be stupid not to do it. Literally every other studio would be absolutely foaming at the mouth to be in Warner Bros. Position right now. Yeah. And they're literally sitting there like, okay, if you're not going to do anything with this, can we buy it from you? Like, can we utilize this? And they'll be like, no. It's like, but you're not.
Netflix just pay because dude, they dropped a chunk for oh man,
yeah. Like again, other studios are foaming at the mouth for this stuff for a viewing audience.
But Warner
like
Brothers
this.
holds on to the IPs, right? For these characters, for Superman, Batman, Flash, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, they hold and they know that's money right there. Yeah, but they're not allowing for. Even within their own umbrella, even within their own company, they're not allowing to share the profits that come from those IPs. Like they could, what they would do probably is like an internal option, kind of like what they did with the Hobbit movies, where it was Warner Brothers, New Line, and some other studio, and they one handled distribution, one handled the production cost, and another one handled something else. They'll probably do something like that internally, but it's going to take them a while to get to that point. Like you and Enosh were saying, it's coming. It's just going to take a while because you don't have a company that they're not all on the same page.
And like I said before, like Zack Snyder himself said that there's no way they can ignore it. He said to keep watching the movie. And so that's if we're fans of what he wants to do, then that's what we got to do. Just watch the movie, show support. And also, again, like we were all saying, when you tweet out about it, just be respectful. And that's the main thing I'm seeing with a lot of Snyderverse fans, actually, is that we're all just being respectful, just playing out facts like you're really going to ignore this. Like you're really going to ignore this money on the table, or like you're really going to overlook these numbers. Like the majority of what I've seen is just people like laying out facts like, this doesn't make any sense. Why wouldn't you restore the Snyderverse? Right. And so if we keep going that direction using logic rather than extreme emotion, then I think we have a better chance. I think we have a really good chance as it is. Mm-hmm. But it only better improves our chances when it's approached in a fundamental and logical way.
Yeah. Right. Because it's a fine line. It's a fine line because a lot of people are saying, the toxic fandom, lumping us in with, the geeks and gamers, the negativity of different fandoms. And even though, Zach is like, they're raising money for AFSP and all that, I mean, putting stuff like this out there, is let me see, where did I put it? Oh my gosh. This is so toxic. Hold on. Here it is. This is super toxic right here. This is the most toxic thing I think I've ever seen. So, and you support it, my good man.
Oh, yeah.
You support it.
Back when I had short hair.
Yeah. and you support it.
Yes.
Sir. And oh gosh, I wish that's another thing I don't like about StreamYard. You can't.
I'm glad you don't have any evidence that I support it.
I do not have any evidence because you can't put these things in order. Where the hell is it?
You don't have it.
Hold on, it's taking me long.
It's all right. Everybody's enjoying watching Anthony right now, anyways. We're all enjoying looking at Anthony.
Oh,
right
there
now.
you are. Oh my God. Okay.
Oh yeah, that's sexy. That's darn
You
right
guys-
sexy. Oh yeah. I love it when you can see the outline of your tank top in there. It's like, oh, it's so sexy.
Hey.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
tank top. Oh, I never noticed that.
Yeah.
Put that
Right.
up. That's fun.
So he's got a wife beater. So I'm gonna need to talk to Tiff. Tiff.
Oh man.
No, but what I was mentioning earlier, real quick, Netflix paid $450 million for Knives Out 2 and 3.
Ooh. What?
Yeah.
I hope it's better.
So
I hope
what
they're
I-
better.
that
Hope
goes
they're
back to the conversation. I like Knives Out, but that goes back to the conversation. Like if they if Warner Brothers put those rights on sale, there will be some suitors. If Netflix just paid $450 million for 2 movies, the rights to put out Knives Out 2 and 3, 2.
It's a done deal. It'd be a done deal.
Yeah, it would.
But-
and they like Zach too because they gave him full reigns on a zombie film that Warner Brothers turned down years ago, and they just let him make that. Yeah,
Pretty much.
So-
And with that, I must make my leave.
All right,
All
Dawson,
right, man. Well, thank you so much for coming by and
Yeah.
chatting with us and giving your perspective on this whole Restore the Snyderverse issue.
Yeah, absolutely. I love you guys. Sorry I'm not able to stream with you guys more often.
you too, man.
Freaking
Take
work
it easy.
sucks.
We all
But it
are.
is what it is. Love y'all.
Don't worry. Just screw the holes into the units, and you'll be good.
Indeed. Bye.
That's what he does all day. He just screws. into the machine into the machines.
I've done it before.
Oh, yeah,
Been there.
yeah.
Been there.
Yes.
Been there. Done
So
that.
so right here, a comment right here. David Ayer wants to push the Ayer cut as well. He
Yes.
and when Ann Sarnoff said, we're not developing, the Ayer cut.
Yeah.
Not that it's really them that are doing it, Warner Brothers. If anybody would be developing it, it would be the same company that's developing Zack Snyder's Justice League, which would be HBO Max.
Warner
Media.
Media. Yes. Yeah. I mean, he came up with some comments, and I'm sure the comments he made just recently, a couple days ago, were in response to her saying, "Yeah, we're not even looking at the Ayer cut," So, but so I mean, I want to see his thing. I want to see David Ayer's cut of Suicide Squad. I want to see it completed. I'm sure we all do. And even Jared Leto has said he wants to see the Ayer cut completed.
Oh, of course. Jared Leto was treated just like, or not just like, but very similar to Ray Fisher.
Yeah.
In that they took his part and butchered it and really didn't have a lot of his character in the story.
Mm-hmm.
And so it could be that, David Ayer comes out and says, yes, the Joker was the heart of the film.
Yeah, no, but I do want to see it, and I hope he gets his thing put out there. It's just a thing to where we all sat back a few months ago and we're like, okay, Snyder Cut comes out. If it's the massive hit that we expect it to be, there's no question that David Ayer should get to finish his thing. And if the movies come out, it's a massive hit. It's a massive thing. And so, it's like Enos was saying earlier, obviously that hit piece that came out that Monday was done probably 2 weeks before.
It was definitely done before because she, it didn't touch on anything that was relevant. Any of the hype, her cadence, the way that she was approached these questions or topics would have changed a little bit, in the way that she responded.
No, but it came.
They were hoping that it would just be like, oh, the fans they liked what they saw. It was better than Justice. Okay, and goodbye.
They didn't think that it was going to be.
They didn't think that it was going to have legs.
Yeah, by Sunday night of that, before that piece came out, it was by far. It was a hit. It was a hit. It was widely loved. What is Dawson talking about? He said you want to see.
Well, Dawson says, "Hold on. Where'd he go? I don't see it yet. I don't see it. Here. I want to see his what?
Oh, he's muted. You muted Enosh.
I didn't mute him.
No, he probably.
I muted me. Sorry, Dawson. Yeah, I'm on that, buddy. I'm on that one. I'm on that one. Trust me. Just give me a minute. I'll have a massive drop for you.
I can't look. I'm like, what?
What happened?
Oh,
what did you say?
It's a surprise.
Ah!
It's a surprise.
One of us said something in the past like 2 minutes that they're about to get us
Oh
on.
man.
So you want to see his what? I don't remember. Oh, okay.
So I don't recall if I said anything. So
yeah.
Okay,
So,
back to Double MJ. AT&T should make the Snyderverse exclusive to HBO Max, which it probably will. That's where it's going to have to live.
Yeah.
Keep it far away from Warner Brothers and their DC Snyderverse. So what they're going to eventually have to do is share actors or move actors like the Flash. They'll have to come back and do something with Ezra to sort of like give you a new Flash to follow in the Snyderverse. Introducing a new, Superman or whatever, or introducing a new Wonder Woman, and say, okay, this is a part of this universe on the screen. This is a part of and Gal Gadot and Ezra and Ray and all them. They're all part of the HBO Max, universe.
Yeah.
And maybe they do crossovers here and there, just to play around with it or whatever. Maybe they can play nice later on, but right now they're not playing nice. Gavin Cooley says it's ridiculous. So ridiculous, it's cool. We shall see. We shall see. I wouldn't trust Sony or Disney anywhere near Zach's vision, especially Avi Arad. Yeah, I agree. I don't think that he's palatable to Disney. I just don't think that Zach.
But he was involved in the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man first 2 that was fired.
Oh, really? Zach was?
Oh, no. Avi Arad.
Avi Arad. Yes, of course.
Yeah. No, I would, dude. Could you imagine? No, that was back when Zach was doing he hadn't even done his first feature yet.
He was doing commercials.
Yeah, or he did the one of those Michael Jordan videos he put out, which is I love hearing him.
So David Ayer just shared unseen footage from his cut. Thank you, Dave Python. I haven't seen it yet.
What, Dave? What time zone do you live in? Is it April 1st yet?
No, it's not April 1st. It couldn't be.
Some people are. It's April 1st for them.
Oh, right yeah, you're right. It is dark. It is nighttime.
Hold up.
I don't know
Dave
about that.
Python. Yeah,
I don't know about
Send the link. Let's see.
Yeah. Put the well, I don't know if you can you do that? Can you put I don't think you can put links in the
well, you might just have to copy it and paste it to the thing.
Okay. Dimble MJ says Warner Brothers and Zack Snyder haters did everything they could to sabotage Zack Snyder's Justice League to fail by leaking Ben's return, Jared's return, teaser, trailer, whole movie, etc. They failed. Yeah, they tried at every turn. There was always some effort, and who knows who it was by, but it was always by some effort to release things. Did we see anything from Kong? Have we seen anything from Mortal Kombat? We haven't. Have we seen anything from The Matrix? No.
No, and I just got to say, I mean, when it comes to David Ayer, I echo what Anthony said.
Like it's a massive thing, and so I want to see his thing.
Anthony, you can't say that on my stream.
Yes, I mean Anthony just nailed it.
Like it's a massive thing, and so I want to see his thing.
No. Well, what's even better is the here. I'll try to show you my my face when you see it. Hold on a second here. Let me turn this up. Here we go.
Like it's a massive thing, and so I want to see his thing.
That's awesome.
Thank you for providing me with awesome content. I appreciate it.
Man. We love multitasking.
Yes. Look, I'm. When it comes to David Ayer, look, I've said this for a while. Like I haven't been as vocal about the Ayer cut as I was about the Snyder cut because I feel like we needed to be very specific when it came to some of this stuff. And now I think that we have to look at David Ayer's cut because, the more he's talked about it, he just did an interview that just talked about its companionship with the Snyder Cut, and
Yes,
how it
yes.
was, and how it was supposed to lead into it, and work together with it. And this flies in the
Synergy.
face. Yes, this flies in the face of everybody who's ever said, "Oh, DC doesn't have a plan. DC doesn't have a plan. They don't have a plan. They never had a plan. They're not like Marvel. They're not together." There was a plan. It was Zack Snyder's plan. It was under the direction of Zack Snyder, and this universe was going to be something that worked together. If Warner Brothers hadn't gotten cold feet and tried to throw everybody under the bus and just scatter, at the first sign of, oh my gosh, it didn't make $1 billion, we got to run and hide, but let this universe build. And I mean, my God, if we would have seen this, now the only argument that I could see against that is that the world wasn't ready for Zack Snyder's vision 4 years ago. A lot has changed. A lot has changed in the last 4 years that has really, I think, made people more understanding of what Zack was trying to do, what these guys were trying to do. And so I say, man, look, David has said my thing is ready to go, right? Like it's right there. It's ready. You don't have to put $70 million into it. Just do it. And so like, what's the problem? What's the problem, Warner Brothers? Just do it.
I mean, I agree. I think that, and I think that it's not going to be released for another couple months if it is ready to go, because what they want to do is they want to let Zack Snyder's Justice League still have its day in the sun. So they don't want to go ahead and say, okay, here this is, and no more focus on Zack Snyder's Justice League. We need to get Zack Snyder's Justice League 2 and 3 greenlit, and then say, okay, well, we have this Ayers cut thing that will, satisfy you until we actually go into production on these other things. And then you can see how it connects, and then you can start watching Man of Steel, BVS, Suicide Squad, Zack Snyder's Justice League, just sort of see how it all is cohesive and works together and all that. But without further ado, let me bring in one other guest that I have here. It is none other than our good friend Scott McClellan.
What's
going on, sir?
Hello.
Hey, Scott. Good to see you, man.
Just drinking some nicely reheated coffee from this morning that was still in the coffee pot. When it's black, it's still good. 12 hours later? I don't know what you're talking about.
Heat that sucker up. That's what a microwave is for.
Oh no, I just hit the warmer on the coffee pot. And
there you go. Even better. Cook that. Cook that stuff. Cook it down. It's like when I used to be at work and I'd forget the coffee pot and nobody else drank coffee at work except for me. So I'd put like half the pot into my cup and I'd go to my office and then I'd come back later and like it was dry and cooking at the bottom.
I used to not drink coffee until I started streaming.
Right. Welcome to my world. Well, you talk about me streaming late, man. I'm streaming from like midnight till 4 a.m, man. That's how I survive.
I just can't.
Becoming a teacher was the first step. Becoming a father was like terraforming. It was like, no.
I'm even a father of 5. So I mean,
dude, how do you survive without it? I don't understand.
Well, see, I'm the only one in my house who's a morning person. Like I get up and this is me. I'm like, woohoo, let's go. But everybody else is like, don't talk to me for at least an hour. I just said sunlight. And I'm like jumping on the bed. I used to wake my kids up in the morning when I think it was maybe the first or last day of school. It was normally with I would go into the living room and crank up John Williams' Star Wars just to wake up the house. But let me get you to weigh in. So what we've been talking about tonight is the hashtag, or the new hashtag, which is Restore the Snyderverse. I want to get your take on, or your thoughts on, do you believe that this is something that is warranted, that we should be doing? Do you think that or like, what are your thoughts just on the Snyderverse itself? Is it something that we keep pushing for different cuts, like the Ayers cut and all this other stuff that we just keep putting things out there that maybe we're insatiable. What are your thoughts on just that sort of paradigm?
Well, I'm of many minds about it. I want it. I'm a selfish SOB, and I want it. I want it all.
Yes.
Especially after watching Zack Snyder's Justice League and going, "You son of a bitch! You took 5 minutes and you filmed a cliffhanger to your movie that already had one."
Yeah.
I remember my first reaction was, "You have balls of steel, sir. Congratulations!" It's like, seriously. So obviously he wants to restore the Snyderverse if he's willing to throw that in at the end of his own movie.
Yeah, he took out, and he filmed it last year. And yes, it does have connective tissue and helps out BVS a little bit for that one cave shot where Ezra comes in and is like, "Hey, I'm here." And it's like, what? I don't understand. So it gives a little bit more credence or levity to, oh, well, this is Ezra from here. So now we see him in his outfit that they had in production that you've never seen before, other than in that one little snippet of Bruce's premonition or dream.
Yeah. Well, and then also, I think the big thing is that I think the hashtag is great. What I think is even better is the fact that it's not just the movement that is on board now. I mean, what people need, the more myopic people need to understand is it has grown beyond us, and this is a wonderful thing. It is not just us anymore. It is like the world. I mean, I am watching my Twitter feed going, blue checkmark verifies who I've never even heard of, but they have like hundreds of thousands of followers. Like, I don't know who you are, but you are reaching an audience that I'm like, thank you. I mean, today I saw my second porn star tweeting about the Snyder cut. I mean, literally, she's using it as a way to get people on her Patreon for her.
So it wasn't Dirk Diggler?
No, it was not. It was, it's like
do you remember Ryan when Max did a whole episode about some porn star who was against the Snyder cut? Do you remember that when Max did that? Max did like a whole thing, like we were all like, who? And it was like some porn star who was like anti Snyder cut and was trying to use her platform to like talk about like all these. Wait,
like literal platform.
I don't know what she was sitting on, but regardless, it was just it was weird because she was so against the Snyder cut, and apparently a bunch of Snyder cut movement people like went after her, and like there was this Twitter war between some porn star.
Oh my god, yes, I remember that now. And that's the sad part, Enosh, is that we've been in this long enough that we actually remember these stupid stories.
Right.
That it's like, because you want to look at the people and go, seriously, you're going to war with a porn star?
Yeah.
I just shake my head and go, oh. So
I mean, in her defense,
like it's a massive thing, and so I want to see his thing.
Why do you want to see his thing, Anthony?
Oh, somebody's cut, man.
Context is everything.
Yeah,
you better believe it.
Yes.
So that's the big thing is, and I think now that we even have a product on HBO Max, that even though they won't release the Snyder Cut numbers, I still think that there is value in analytics. Like, I can understand, people pushing the hashtag. And I think the hashtag, it got us where we are. And we have the world is with us, which is a weird Twilight Zone feeling that I'm sitting here after the last 3.5 years going, I don't know what to do with this. It's like, I don't know how to process this.
When you finally win, it'd be like if my Detroit Lions finally won the Super Bowl. We'd all just be sitting here going, is the world going to end? Like, what?
Cubs win the World Series against Miami?
Right.
I'm sitting here feeling like Heath Ledger's Joker from the hospital scene going, I'm like a dog chasing a car. I wouldn't know what to do if I caught it.
Yeah,
It's
right.
like it's that scene. And that's what I feel like where we are right now is I think some people need to chill and realize that we are winning. It doesn't feel like it because Sarnoff went off and said what she said, and it had the intended effect of trying to drudge up the very people that she's calling out in the article because they are so predictable that that's what's going to happen, and they play into the trap instead of just all of us just kind of going, okay. If we just wouldn't take even when it is an attack, if you just wouldn't take the bait, it's like I want to be like Tom Hardy in Mad Max Fury Road going, that's bait.
Well, Ray Fisher really set us up, or helped us out, like sort of like pull the veil back. And he was like, about the Jason Momoa Frosty the Snowman thing and them spilling the beans on Ben Affleck returning as Batman in the Flash movie. And various other times where he was like, every time something would come out that was relevant, they would always kind of throw some fluff out there to sort of like, just kind of make people go squirrel.
But but my point is that but we know this.
Yeah.
We say this, and yet you still see the predictable reactions from some members of the fandom that will still go for it. It's like, guys, if you would just leave it, like if you wouldn't rubberneck, if you would just keep on driving, the point is to not feed that. Yeah. And right now, the ball is kind of in our court because I have to think that somebody is scared about those numbers. Because when HBO Max is willing to tweet out about the numbers that Tina, the documentary, did, but we haven't heard boo about Zack Snyder's Justice League, but all the third-party vendors like Crave and Binge and everybody is like throwing a party because it did them insane numbers and did them insane business.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, we do have some statistics that were put in here. I saw this on Ohio Dave's Twitter today, so I grabbed it and I was like, well, let's share it. So it says 2.2 million U.S. households managed to watch the whole film between March 18th and 25th. 1.8 million U.S. households have watched the film, and it's the first 5 minutes, first weekend. 1/3 of the U.S. households watched the film in a single sitting, first weekend. 64% increase in HBO Max app downloads between for March 18th and 25th. 100K streams via India's Book My Show first weekend, and 954K streams via UK's Sky Cinema first weekend, and then revenue for Warner Brothers Pictures estimated $266 million for this film that wasn't going to be released, that they gave $70 million to. So they made 200, pretty much roughly, in just the first, these first preliminary numbers here. They've made $200 million on something that wasn't going to be released.
Okay, now my question is, and here's the problem when you throw up statistics like that, and this is just me being like the even-keeled person that I am, is that when you see numbers like that, the problem is that I need parity. I need, what is this relative to? Like, those numbers sound great compared to what? And that's the problem, is that one, that's just a streaming problem. Nobody has third-party data to really give us perspective about how good or not good or great or not great.
Right, we have no metrics.
We have no metrics to what those numbers actually compute to. Right. I think it sounds great. I think it's doing well just based on the hype and the engagement.
Those numbers are definitely better than zero.
Yes, they're better than zero, but still, I don't want to pump the brakes, but I just want to say, guys, let's be reasonable about this, and let's be business minded about this, and go, okay, cool. So when I hear Crave say it's their biggest thing on the platform, it even beat out Game of Thrones, cool. That's giving me something to compare it to. That gives me something that I can go.
And that's pretty big too.
Yeah,
I need to compare it to Tom and Jerry, because that came out relatively the same time, and a lot of people who were watching Tom and Jerry saw Justice League, and therefore that's synonymous. But we also have this, which I also pulled from Twitter. where this is not metrics. This is just, people stating that they love the film. And I don't know any of these, but I do like what they say. And look at all these different stars, and a couple black stars are in there too. Don't know what that means. But I mean, what we were saying earlier was that there was a lot of acclaim for the film, and this is just one of them. I saw that there was they had like a little trailer that was like, that there's like best streaming video or whatever. It was all kinds of graphics going over the movie, and that was very. I mean, I was like, wow, that's really nice. But without further ado, let me introduce someone who's been evading my broadcast for months because she's always working. Here she is in her debut on my channel. Aside from the four nerds when she was on then. Here she is, Wonder Meg.
Hey!
I'm good. I'm in my car. I just got out of Godzilla vs. Kong.
Oh, nice.
I'm so jealous.
Nice. Yeah, no, that's where my son is. He's watching it on the big screen, and so I'm here streaming with you guys, not watching it. And we're talking about this new hashtag, the Restore the Snyderverse. What are your initial thoughts on Restore the Snyderverse? Like, how important is this hashtag? How important is this compared to Release the Snyder Cut?
I don't know if it's more important than Release the Snyder Cut, but I think that I think it's inevitable, sort of, with all of the positive reviews and feedback from like people beyond the fandom. I think that the momentum is insane, and I mean, and if it's in the cards, then I think Zach is down, and I think it's going to be, amazing, obviously. But yeah, if it's in the cards, then Zach wants to do it, I think we should fight for it.
Awesome. So, let me see, where was it going with? The Ayers cut. This beast right here. I'm hiding Enosh, but he's looking down, so it's all good. I put this together a couple months ago. It's not really gonna have Steppenwolf in it, but maybe for a snippet if he's in it. But this is just something a little bit different. I was like, what, they didn't have to call it. It doesn't have to go along the lines of like David Ayers, Suicide Squad, like Zack Snyder. I was like, what, they could just call it Task Force X, and that could differentiate it from James Gunn's Suicide Squad. I was like, yeah, that could be, and it could again, right, like I have on here, it could just live on HBO Max. What are your thoughts of David Ayers' recut of the Suicide Squad, and what Ansernoff was saying that well, it's not something that we're currently developing, so we don't care.
Anytime she says anything anymore, I just like want to roll my eyes so hard. Because it's like, for a second I thought, Scott, you were frozen, so I'm glad that you actually moved.
Scott gets in concentration mode, dude. This is just like,
I think it's like so silly for her to say that, especially after like so many people said the Snyder Cut was never going to come out and it was never going to happen, and so then to say it again when there's a big like group of people that would want the Ayers cut out, and especially with the success of the Snyder Cut, I think that it's just like ignoring money, you know what I mean? And like, especially with like the Restore the Snyderverse too, it's like, don't you want to make money? I don't understand. Like,
yeah,
God forbid.
And also to your point, Meg, it's also the fact that we know from David Ayers' own words that it would cost so much less to finish his cut.
Yeah.
Because it was so insanely into post-production when they decided. And this has always been Ray of the Flycast. It's always been his argument that David Ayers got screwed over more than Snyder did in some ways, only because he got screwed over for a movie that wasn't even his. Like, they literally looked at BVS's reaction and in the middle of his post-production said, no, let's completely change your movie.
Well, it wasn't until after that trailer was released that had all the, I think it was like the Queen music.
It was the Bohemian Rhapsody trailer.
Everyone loved the trailer, and they were like, "Oh no, we want the whole movie like that." And so they butchered it. They changed it. That's where and that was like at the 11th hour. because, like I said, the trailer was already out, and they were like, "No, make the whole movie like the trailer. People love it. We can't lose."
Right.
Well, and what gets ignored is that money made that movie still made bank. Based on what, even based on what they spent, that movie made bank.
What they made 80? No, how much did they make?
700 something.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, with a budget a fraction of that, like it. Yeah. And people still want to completely disregard the audience demographics that gravitated to that movie. I remember those numbers back from 2016 about how much it spoke to Black audiences, to Hispanic audiences, to female audience. Yeah. Like that was the part that got completely ignored, was the diversity of the audience who was buying the tickets and was speaking positively about their reactions to the film. And I have always said that, because with DC Film Squadcast, back when we were the Suicide Squadcast, our very first episode was reviewing that Comic-Con trailer back from 2015. I have to this day always said I still want to see the movie that trailer was advertising.
Yeah.
Because that trailer looked amazing. And the fact that David Ayers come out since then even said, go back to that trailer. That's what my movie was going to be. And I'm like, dude, I still want to see that. Even in our review of Suicide Squad in 2016, you can hear me kind of be very sort of lukewarm on the movie, because I was like, I still want to see what that other movie, like, that doesn't look like the movie I was sold back in 2015. I still want to see that movie.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
Well, like, especially with the like Jared Leto coming back as the Joker for the nightmare scene and like putting his face back out there as the Joker, I just think that it's like rekindled the fire that some people had for his version of the Joker. So I think it's just silly to say that, like, oh yeah, that's not going to happen. We're not going to.
Right. And even the same thing, and I have to mirror this because other people have said it about Ben, is that Jared's not coming back to say goodbye. He's coming back and he's like, I would like to do more with Zach. I'd love to further this thing that we're working on, because I too have interest in what he came and told me about, this vision that he had. It's not just that, I just want to sit on a car, and give Batman a couple lines and then I'm done, it's that, he Zach sold him on a, on an exposition or on a narrative that he was like, this, I would like for you to come back. I know that you got a lot of crap for, from the Suicide Squad movie, but I'd like you to come back and do this. And I have a slightly different take on how I want to approach the Joker. Would you be interested? And he could have easily said, no, I said my goodbyes to that character, and I don't want to come back just to get scrutinized again. No, he came back because he believed in what Zach was talking about, and he was like, yeah, I'm sure, I'd love to do that. Let me, we can riff, we can do whatever. And Zach was probably like, yeah, and I have more plans. I have another whiteboard. But I'm not going to show anybody. But I have another whiteboard that has all kinds of stuff that you're possibly on, or not, or possibly.
But Ryan, all that is too logical, man. All is too logical. If I've learned one thing about being a DC fan over the years, and just being somebody who has watched Warner Brothers over the years, throw all logic right out the window. I mean, they will literally step over themselves to just mess something up, to interfere with something, they will literally step over dollars to find dimes or pennies even, and I've
they are shiny.
I was starting to think about this because I was watching a documentary on YouTube this weekend about like some of the movies that were supposed to come out, like, Justice League Mortal, for example, that was supposed to come out in the middle 2000s, and you at the same time you had Superman Returns, and you had Batman Begins, and you had these movies that were coming out, and they were literally, Warner Brothers has always been in such a jumbled mess where it's like the movies that we get will go for these long periods of time where we'll hear, hey, we're going to make this film. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Nothing. Okay. Well, what about this film?
They would always release. They would do that.
Yeah, yes. we got an actor that's attached to this. What do you guys think about this?
No, oh God, Enoch, you got to understand.
Hey, here's a director. Hey, what do you think about this? Here's this idea. We're gonna do this movie and this movie and this movie, and then the stuff that actually gets greenlit is like, I mean, Superman Returns, Brandon Routh. I liked him better on Crisis on Infinite Earths than I did in the actual movie. I think he's a really nice guy. I met the guy. He's super nice. I mean, he gets what Superman is now, but look what they gave him to work with in that movie, for God's sake. You can't even root for Superman in that movie. And I'm just I just look at what actually gets greenlit, and every once in a while you get like this gem like Batman Begins, which was great for its time, or like The Dark Knight. But then you see this other stuff that does get greenlit, and now when you see them going down this route of hey, we're gonna go down, you know, this multiverse route, and everybody's invited except for the Snyderverse that's doing really well, and everybody's talking about and has a built-in audience and has a built-in box office potential. No, we're not going to do that, because 5, 6, 7 years ago, it was kind of mediocre at first because we were building something, but instead of building it, we tampered with our own stuff and like made them rewrite stuff and cut stuff down to 2 hours and do all this stuff.
They
took one movie completely away, and we totally, you know, just messed it up. But we're not going to do that part. They're not invited. Zack Snyder and his vision aren't invited. Everybody else is invited, and you're going to love our thing.
Yeah, and I love when you hit on the multiverse thing, because it's funny. Like, they've been pushing that since what, like DC Fandom? Yeah. And they literally had a panel to explain the multiverse. Yeah. And it's like, okay, cool. So it's like the whole time, you know, you're watching the trailer, you're waiting for the movie to come out. You're like, yeah, this is cool. This is the multiverse. Like, every DC fan is welcome in the multiverse, whether you like the CW shows or you like the Snyderverse or you like it all. Like, you can be, and you can be a DC fan and like actually feel like, okay, cool, I'm valid in what I like and the concept that I like. And then Snyder Cut comes out, and a week later, not even, like a few days after it was out. Yes.
4 days. 4 days.
Massively successful.
They were like, and now they've had enough time.
The thing that everyone's talking about right now, the thing that everyone's consuming right now, we're
well, not only that, the Green Lantern. You know, he was like, Zach was like, I got a Green Lantern. They were like, no, we're gonna do something with that Green Lantern. Yeah. Okay. When? You know, the Green Lantern project real soon,
filming in like a week or 2 weeks that we haven't heard anything about.
Yeah. Okay. And why does it matter if it's a multiverse?
Exactly.
Like if we could have two Batman in one movie, and one you're bringing back from 30 years ago, right? Yeah. And then you can have all these different people, but don't you dare use Green Lantern, because I don't know, there's only like a million different Green Lanterns that we could totally pick from.
And you know why?
Because the one specific Green Lantern he wanted, he's told he can't have it.
Yeah, and that's ridiculous, because it's the multiverse. So you can have your Hal. I mean, not Hal. You can have your John, and I got my John. And do you know how many people are out there that are named John?
Crisis. I don't understand. But like, it's so dumb.
But yeah, no, I mean, okay, so HBO Max, the very first show that they were announcing was Green Lantern.
Yeah,
and then they released Fandom 2. They were like, Green Lantern. Who was missing? Hal Jordan. John Stewart, and who was the other one?
Kyle Rayner.
No. Kyle Rayner. Right. Yeah. So those three were missing from the graphic. They had Guy Gardner. They had Alan Scott. They had the two that need each other.
Jessica and Baz.
Yeah, Jessica and Baz. Which I don't understand why they need each other, but okay. But they had those, and what have we heard from that? Nothing. Because you know what? They're trying to do something with Jeff Johns. They're trying to, because he has intellectual rights to those characters, because his work for DC. Also, him and what's his name? Ethan Van Sciver. Those two people came up with a lot of the lore for Blackest Night, Darkest Night, all that.
Oh, that's a thing that it can be frustrating, is that really, if we're going to be objective and sit back, a huge chunk of what we know about Green Lantern today was contributed by those two. Yeah. That run from Green Lantern Rebirth all the way, I mean, it was 9 years of one character, and pretty much 90% of the character aspects that we accept now as part of that mythology was invented in those 9 years. It's kind of insane. It's just unfortunate now where the ideas aren't bad. Actually, the ideas are fantastic.
No. Jeff Johns is a good writer. You know, he's a good creative mind. He's just not good at managing a company. So what they are trying to, and that's why Walter Hamada was like, Ray, leave Jeff Johns out of this because Green Lantern's huge.
Mhm.
You know, he's a huge property. So what they're having to do is untether, Jeff Johns from the property, and I think they're running into legal issues, and I think that's the reason why Green Lantern is halted. And you haven't heard anything from anywhere about using Green Lantern going forward, whether it's Hamadaverse, Snyderverse, anything. They're halted because of Jeff Johns and the issues that he had working on as the co-president of DC Films.
Yeah, I mean, it just to go back to Ann Sarnoff just speaking out of her ass. I just, I don't know. I don't understand. Just like the DC universe is so expansive, and I mean, I know that not a lot of people want a connected universe, which is fine. I mean, I don't think we need to have a connected universe, but like, there's just so much that you can do within the multiverse. And like the Green Lantern show and Zack's Green Lantern and any other fucking Green Lantern thing they want to do is unbothered to each other because there's a multiverse.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
shit don't gotta be connected.
it's so stupid to say that, like, oh yeah, you know what? We are focusing on the multiverse, but then again, wink wink, fine print. We're actually not, because not everything's included.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting. I was having a conversation with somebody about this, same conversation that I was talking about earlier. And, they talked about Ann Sarnoff. And isn't it funny that Ann was the one who was chosen to give us all this information, right? So they didn't have Walter Hamada come out and say this, even though Walter Hamada is president of DC Films. They didn't have him come out and say it's because he's too connected to the situation and people would have been pissed, right? They didn't have Toby Emmerich come out and say this stuff because he's too connected to the problem. They didn't have all these other people who are connected to the problem come out and say this. They literally, it was like they were walking down the halls at Warner Brother and they were like, who are we going to throw to the fans today? Ann, you're in your office. You didn't go to lunch.
About silos before.
Yeah, come on out here and make a statement for us, all right? Everybody's going to love you.
And they want to talk about toxic fandom, whatever. But if you go back to the initial Warner Brothers tweet announcing Ann Sarnoff with her new position, it's all positive responses like, welcome, Ann, we're really excited to see what you do. Congratulations. I went back and read my tweet and I literally said congratulations, like, excited to see what you do. So like, it's funny for her to talk about a toxic fandom when it doesn't seem to me, at least on surface level. I mean, literally Nana, Cole, Nerd Queens, all of us, we sent her a fucking gift basket.
Yeah, it's got gifts.
Yeah,
so toxic. Now, come on. Now,
what was in the gift basket?
Meg, be honest. Be honest. You gave her a poison apple. Be honest. Come on now.
A bunch of like cool DC stuff in it. Like we gave her a cape to put on the back of her chair. It was all just like really cool stuff, like welcoming her. So like for her to say that we're like toxic, I'm like, oh, I don't give people I don't like gifts. So like.
Well, once again, I go back to the point that I made on my show is that if you read that, one, it's just a series of press releases bundled up as an interview. Yeah. And you can tell that it was pre-written days or weeks before the release, because since it doesn't acknowledge anything about the response to the release, I still say that's what makes it so tone deaf. Is literally, it was not that they were tone deaf, it was that they hadn't heard anything yet when they had already formulated all of their answers. And so, and it was obvious that no matter what it did, this was the plan going forward. It was get it out so that we can be cool. Release the Snyder cut. We did that. We did. Cool.
Dunzo.
Yeah. Like, peace. I'll move on to the next one.
And on one side, I can understand that. The whole point of that was thank God we can get them off of our back now because we released the damn thing. The problem is, one, did you actually watch the movie? Like, did you actually look at like the fact that it has like 50? It's like the Lord of the Rings: Return of the King with like 5 different endings, all of which sets up its own cliffhanger. That's like more Nightmare and Martian Manhunter, and Darkseid's going to invade. It's like I was literally watching it, going, how many different times can this thing?
Here's what the multiverse could have brought us. This is a possibility. I mean, it could have brought us. Look, 3 Batmen. You know, you've got Jeffrey Dean Morgan. You've got Michael Keaton. You've got Ben Affleck. You've got Brandon Routh. You've got Henry Cavill. You've got both Flashes. You know, I mean, it could have been something glorious like this, but we're gonna get something that is just going to be so disconnected. Like you're going to have 2 different types of Supergirls. That are not connected to one another. I mean, it's almost like this movie still exists.
I mean,
let me show you something. Did you know that back in the day I fought a hippo? I had to go in the car first to get my car keys because I realized that I forgot my hippo fighting cape inside there. And so then all of a sudden the whole thing caught on fire. And I was like, I got to go get a hand grenade. And the whole thing blew up right in my face. It was crazy.
Didn't they say though that Justice League is canon for them?
Canon.
So
They did. So I mean, all that
fucking hippo and shit,
unnecessary, gratuitous sort of sex talk and all that, and situations and innuendos. It's not this.
No, it's not.
Fire, not clear fire.
Yeah, but that is not canon. Damn it.
Nope.
But you know what?
Not wanting more of that. Imagine not wanting more of that.
But here's my point: is like when we can give it the whole what's canon, what is not canon. Guess what? Yeah. I could give the beauty if they actually embrace the idea of multiverse. I could give a crap about canon. Like, literally, if you could just give me Zach's 5-movie arc. I don't need anything else connected to it. I mean, what I love Ben's Batman project, absolutely. What of course, I want to see Ayers Suicide Squad because technically it's already filmed. It's like it's just finish the dang thing. But you know what? I don't need a connected universe. I just want a good story. And and so if you could just finish off that Superman story. Give me my Lord of the Rings,
that would be great.
Style. I'd be good. I could be happy. I'm not going to be that greedy. Literally, I'm just like, give me 2 more movies. Give me 2 more movies. You could be done with me. Like you could just give a dog a bone and leave me alone, and I'd be okay. And I'd be okay with that because I just want the story to finish. And then
that's the crazy thing, Scott. They could have been done with us already.
I know. If they just stuck with it,
if they stuck with it,
it would have come out. It would have came out
but Warner Brothers is
2 years ago, and we'd be done.
Yeah,
and that's the part that blows my mind. Is that really you have done this to yourself?
Yeah,
you did this to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And another part that gets me is. They want as much as it's a convenient talking point to talk about how the how dare the fans demand this, as if I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry that me as a customer wants to give you insane amounts of my money. I'm so
I want to open my wallet up to you.
Use my fucking banking information.
Talk about it.
I just got it on speed dial now. It's just like, oh, there it goes. There it is. Just take it. Take my money. There, DC stuff. Okay, awesome.
That's what I was saying earlier before Scott and Meg joined.
They're a director-driven studio, guys.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry, I forgot. Yeah. No, I say so much about directors.
I was saying we just want like Scott was saying we just want the rest of Zach stuff. It's not like we're here saying fuck everything else you got DC related. Just give us these 2 movies. No, finish.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Come on.
No. Sorry. You're toxic for my blood.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
No, he's nope. Can't do it.
He's still going.
Can't do it.
Finish.
Come on, a couple other letters in there. Just give it all to him right.
Make all the rest of the movies you want to make DC related. as long as we get these 2 movies. That's all.
Because because Anthony, to your point, Robert Pattinson's Batman movie, dude, like, I was like, do I want to see that? Absolutely. That fandom trailer looked fantastic. Now,
there it is.
Sounds pretty toxic to me. just saying, Scott. Just saying, that sounds pretty darn toxic to me.
But but I think the point is for me is that I have not been this enthused. I have not bought this much merch since 2016, and it's like. Because you shot yourself in the foot back in 2016, even before 2017 happened. We already started to see the writing on the wall in 2016, and that killed fan enthusiasm. I mean, Tim just pointed out our chart of just. He even said, "Okay, we only have for apples to apples comparison. Let's look at our downloads of our movie reviews in the first 10 days."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Dude, literally, we have not seen numbers like this since Wonder Woman in 2017. And because Wonder Woman was that cultural phenomenon that I mean, no movie ever does equal or more domestic than it does overseas. Like Wonder Woman was a gem, and then they shot themselves in the foot, and we never recovered after that until Zack Snyder's Justice League. So it's like you have an enthused fan base for the first time in forever. And I do not, and it's this old Hollywood of you're going to take what we are going to give you. You're going to like what we're going to tell you to like.
We know better than you.
Right. Instead of, no, I'm telling you with my dollars, this is what will get me to spend insane, irrational amounts of money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And there's got to be somebody who's tracking the merchandise sales and looking at the streaming numbers. And I've got to believe there is somebody in the company like an accountant somewhere that's going,
dollars. We got dollars here.
Ray Fisher and Ray Porter pointed out something to me that made a lot of sense to me. And that is traditionally directors always had the power. Right. That's how we ended up. That's how we ended up with these amazing, powerful directors like Steven Spielberg, right, and Coppola, and Scorsese and all these names, right, where these guys could literally come in and just they could literally film a pile of crap and say, "This is my movie. This is my opus. This is something important," and the studios would go, "Give it to us. Yes, yes, yes. You have all the power." But over the last few years, the studios have gotten away from that, where now the studios have all this control. Look at what's going on even with Disney and Star Wars. And they brought this up to me, and I hadn't even thought about this, but with Star Wars, how many directors have they gone through that all of a sudden they got to a certain point? And I'm not saying it's good, bad, indifferent, because I know there's been a lot of issues and stuff, but it's like you had Lord Miller doing Solo, and then all of a sudden they said it was 95% done. And Kathleen Kennedy came in and said, "Nope, this is too." First of all, how do you not pay attention to an entire movie and then it's a comedy?
I haven't been watching the dailies.
And I like Star Wars and I like the sequels, but my God, how do you get 95% done with the movie and then go, no, it's a comedy. We got to get rid of that and redo it and just start throwing directors off. How many directors have been on The Flash, for God's sake? And then you have somebody like Zack Snyder who comes in, and because this doesn't make a couple of $1 billion for Batman v Superman, how can you put Batman and Superman in the same movie? And you blame Zack for that. And this turn where they've all of a sudden the studio has the power and dictates to the directors. So that's what's happened with David Ayer. That's what's happened with Zack Snyder. That's what's happening more and more. And what they said that made sense to me was, if they allow Zack to turn this on its ear the way that he has with this movie, and the power starts to go back to the director, and they actually have to back up what they've said about how they're a studio that supports directors and is director driven. They have to actually put their money where their mouth is and actually wait for things to flesh out and for stories to be seen and for franchises to build. It's going to undo everything, because right now they're in the driver's seat and they feel enough power to be able to come out and say something like, "Oh yeah, just wait. You're going to like what we give you. We're going to like what we show."
Right here, Enosh, do me a favor. Read these lines right here as if you were an executive at Warner Brothers.
We don't listen to the fans. We tell the fans what they like. We allowed Jason Keelar to release the Snyder thing, but that's over now. You see, fans don't know what they want till we tell them just what they want.
Yo, you work for Warner Brothers, Enoch?
I know. I was like, that's creepy. I was like, that's so real.
I'll send you your bill.
Yeah.
All right, guys, my phone is at like 10%, so I have to go.
Oh, well, hey, I appreciate you so much weighing in and letting us know your thoughts on it. Where can everybody find you, Meg?
You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Vero as Wonder Meg with like a little underscore at the end. And then you can also find me on YouTube as Wonder Meg.
And what, without any spoilers, what did you think of Kong and Godzilla as a movie?
It was good. It was good.
All right. I'll
Team Godzilla all day. All right, see you guys.
Hey, hold on. I'm here to tell you right now. Okay.
No, this is not the Nicotina show. I don't do that.
I was just messing with her because.
But yeah. So what do you think? As far as like a timetable, and we know that the numbers that everybody keeps talking about, the first quarter numbers have to be talked about next month. I think the end of the first quarter is April 20th. So they're gonna have to reconvene. Oh, what was that? What was that?
That was your opinions and your thoughts there.
You do you, boo, right?
So when do you think this will be announced as a reality?
I really don't know, because I feel like, honestly, that even with the numbers being insane, I have a feeling that there would have to be contract negotiate. Like, Warner Brothers is not doing HBO Max, Warner Media, Warner Brothers, whichever entity is willing to pony up.
Yeah,
contracts are going to be pre-negotiated inside. Like, we're not going to get a Wonder Woman 3 green light kind of announcement.
Right.
Like, because notice how to this day, Patty Jenkins and Gal Gadot still haven't really said boo about that.
That hasn't been green lit.
Right.
It was
fast tracked. It was fast tracked. So I have a feeling that I know it's really hard to say be patient, but that's what it's going to take. Is like, let's be honest. We don't want this being announced until contracts are like locked in, signed, and we'd hope that terms have been negotiated that would be beneficial to the parties that we would hope it would be beneficial to. Trust me, they're not going to go down this rabbit hole with this fandom and this director until all the T's are crossed, all the I's are dotted, and
I agree.
Agreements are locked down, which means that if this does happen, and I'm going to still say if, because I have personally got to prepare myself for, what the Cardassians used to say on Deep Space Nine: hope for the best, expect the worst. And if I'm going to hope for the best but expect the worst, I've got to be prepared for the fact that maybe it doesn't happen. But if it does happen, we got a little bit of a wait, because let's also think about how long they were talking about just releasing the Snyder cut before we found out about it. If the press is to be believed, they were talking before November. November was just the death knell to that was the mic drop, and then we didn't find out until May. So, it's like, so that was at least 5 to 6 months. We're always going to hear about things long after they actually happened.
Yeah.
That's the way it works. And honestly, I would rather that happen, because I'd rather it be a sure thing than a tease that doesn't go anywhere.
Sure. Anthony, what do you think? As far as like an announcement of a sequel? I think that they're going to do like Back to the Future 2 and 3. That like Scott was saying, there's so much that there's just the contracts would need to have a lot of just a lot of verbiage to protect the studio, protect the other parties involved, and really be tight nipped. Tight nipped.
Tight knit.
Tight
knit.
knit.
Yes,
Knitting,
tight
yeah.
knit.
Tight nipped is what Anthony's t-shirts are. When he's working out there, he's like, "Ooh, boom, 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 boom,
Make him dance, baby. But yeah, I
got to use my hands. Anthony's just over there, like,
quit molesting yourself.
look. The thing is if we get anything like this, like you said, I want Zach protected first of all, like that we're not going to get partially into this thing and then all of a sudden some stupid thing is going to happen and derail it or knock it wherever because you're right. But that's the thing I think that's the concern, that for those of us who respect Zach, like more so whether or not I want to see the stuff, I don't want Zach to have to go through a bunch of mental anguish to be able to complete his story at this point. I mean, he's already gone through enough. Dear God, the man has already suffered through the events that happened, that transpired with his family. And then on top of that, with the movie itself, and then this fight to just get the movie made. And then literally, I mean, what did we see? Just even leading up to this film, notice Kong versus Kong versus Godzilla didn't get leaked. Yeah. Right. You didn't go to turn on Tom and Jerry and there was Kong versus Godzilla. There was none of that stuff going on, or the fight to get it released around the world, or the fight to just get a basic respect for the film or anything. I mean, these little things. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but my God, like the stuff that happened even leading up to this thing and directly after now with this announcement, it's all just a bunch of junk. And so like Scott said, there's still a lot that has to be done, and there's a lot that has to be solidified and put into stone before this goes forward, because I don't want to see more of this. I'm tired of this. As a fan, I'm tired of just this kind of junk going back and forth. I just want to know what we're doing. Like Scott said, I'm prepared that if the answer is no, if Jason Keelar comes out tomorrow and says, look, guys, we can't do it. We appreciate Zach. We appreciate the fans. We want to give you guys something going forward that hopefully you enjoy, but we're just not going to pursue this at this time. Then we have to be prepared for that. But don't give me a bunch of like backhanded compliments and a bunch of, stuff that really doesn't make any sense. Just do that. But I'm prepared for that. But I'm also prepared to fight for what I believe could be something very positive, and to see Zach's vision completed. See these two movies, Justice League 2 and 3, see that story arc ended. And then anything else we get from there would be great, would be awesome. I would love to see more Ben Affleck and the whole Batman and Deathstroke and Joker story. I want to see all that stuff as a fan. Sure. But I don't want it to come at the, I don't want to come at the casualty of people having to just basically want to put their head through a wall because they have to deal with these executives again.
Well, and also to Ryan's point, like doing a back-to-back filming would be great, because I mean, honestly, let's be honest, Affleck has productions that I am like, he's got directorial stuff that I want to see because the man is an amazing director and I want to see his movies. Zach has other non-DC movies that I want to see because I want him to be able to go and make them. Like, great point. I don't want to be a myopic DC fan, because I'm also a movie lover and I just want to see a whole lot of good movies. Yes. And I don't want that all to also be sacrificed on the pyre of, these two movies that honestly, like you said, Ryan, it needs to be like a Back to the Future Part 2 and Part 3 situation where it's like, just knock it out, get everyone, like film all your scenes for both movies, like just be done. Be done with it. And I know that seems kind of weird to say because it sounds like I'm diminishing it, but it's also, I think it's in the best interest of everyone that if it does happen, do it that way so the actors can be done with the situation, Zach can be done with the situation, and everyone can just move on and we can still get the two movies.
Yeah. Right.
And you all
go ahead,
make,
Anthony.
Yeah, you guys all make like fire points, dude. Like I agree with everything you guys said. I do agree with Scott. Like if the stuff gets announced, I want all the contracts to be done so there's no question like who's here, who's there, and film them back to back. Just also like the Matrix, the second two Matrix films, straight filmed them just like that, where it was back to back type of deal. So yeah, I agree with you guys. That is the thing, Scott. That's a good point. I want all the contracts to be like in stone when they start. If we get these movies that way, there's nothing. And also, like Enos was saying, just give. You know what? Do what they just did with James Gunn and let him do whatever he wants with these characters and these properties, because they let him do whatever he wanted. That's why there's so many characters and so many well,
they gave him carte blanche. They were like, dude, we brought you over here because we changed David Ayers' movie into a movie that was similar to yours and it didn't work. We want a movie that is similar to yours, so therefore we want a movie that is yours, and we will leave you alone and let you do your thing. And if you want Sly to be an overweight, shark, then you go right ahead. Give him love handles.
Trust
and all that.
you. We trust you.
That's what I want them to do
because you did that for Marvel.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
They want the Marvel money. They do.
Yep.
But anyway, so that concludes this evening's talk about the Snyderverse. I'd like to thank everybody on the panel. Scott, where can everybody find you?
Of course, you can find me on Twitter at ScottDC27. You can find my podcast, DC Film Squadcast, wherever podcasts can be found. We're also on Vero, Facebook, YouTube, and you can find the entire network of shows at squadcastmedia.com.
All right. And Enosh, where can the folks find you there, sir?
Well, you can find me over at the Poindexter Lounge, like Ryan said, just lounging around, doing nothing. That's what I do all day. No. Hey, you can find me at the Poindexter Lounge. I'm also Poindexter Lounge at all of the social medias that are, except for if you're looking for us on Twitter, then we take the E out of the middle of the word because we wanted too many letters. It's like Ann Sarnoff trying to do math. Like 5 equals trilogy.
Yes. 5 and that is the new math. That's what
Yes.
they're teaching in schools today for kids that are that want to be executives at Warner Brothers.
Yes.
And Anthony, where can everybody find you?
I'm here to tell you right now.
I'm just joking. This is not the Nicotina show. I promise. This is not.
But all forms of social media at 2279ACS, except for Twitter. It's at 2279ACS _ YouTube, the ACS Universe. There you go.
And again, I would like to thank everybody that has been here. I see that the numbers are dwindling down in the watch, but I wanted to let you guys know that I'm doing something new for everybody watching. I created this shirt. I'm going to give it out to people that comment in the comment section below after the video is already aired, and then I will take your name as well as the names of the people who are on my Patreon, and then I will raffle off a shirt with that design, and I'll get your contact information and size of shirt and send that out to you so that that you can have something from the channel that I created myself. And don't forget tomorrow. I also like to thank all my Patreon. Thank you very much. But also tomorrow on the Four Nerds, we have none other than Ray Porter, who's going to talk to us post-release the Snyder Cut, and we're going to talk about pretty much anything he wants to because he's such a cool guy. We just love talking to him. We love having him on the show.
Simpsons did it.
What's that?
Simpsons did it.
Simpsons did what?
That's just a reference. That's a South Park reference.
Oh,
let's stop when the episode where they try to keep coming up with new ideas and new things to do on their episode, and then all of a sudden, like somebody just keeps going, "Simpsons did it. Simpsons already did it. Simpsons did it."
Well, they have 20 seasons, so they have done everything.
That's true.
But yeah, so catch us tomorrow, 7:30 Eastern. The Four Nerds will be on there, along with, like I said, Ray Porter. Nicotina will be out, and that will be incredible.
No.
So, without further ado, thanks everybody, and you guys have a good night.